Hello, lovely people of the internet. Welcome to the Wolf Down Test Kitchen. I'm Tyler Florence, along with Matt Macera.
Hello.
Our culinary director, and we have a delicious dish for you today. We are going to make the summertime classic baked rigatoni with eggplant and Italian sausage. You are going to love it. And then for dessert, we're going to be making peaches with an Amaretto Toffee sauce, vanilla ice cream, and biscotti. It's going to be absolutely delicious. Welcome to Wolf Down. Let's get going. Let's talk about some ingredients here so we can all begin to kind of mentally roadmap what we're going to work on, so you see everything before it comes, and that way we're prepared when we start to get to that particular part of the recipe. And this is a favorite.
Yeah, this is definitely a family favorite. Feeds everybody, kind of a one-pot wonder type of thing.
And I gotta tell you, testing this one has been a lot of fun, especially the different like tweaky iterations. I think this is the best version of this particular dish. It's amazing. It's really easy. You don't really have a ton of ingredients, but it's the best stuff. So if you got some tomatoes coming out of the garden, or if you're pulling them out of the farmer's market, whatever you got, this is a great way to use them up. So we got two different kinds of tomatoes. So we have 10 really fat, vine-ripe Roma tomatoes that are gonna be part of the sauce. And then we have these really beautiful cherry tomatoes that we're gonna cut in half right towards the end and bake them on top of the dish, almost as a garnish, just so the whole thing really reads, okay? So then we've got lots of really good mozzarella cheese, and this is stuff just straight out of the bag. You can upgrade it with really good mozzarella, or you can add
buffalo mozzarella.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. However, whatever different degrees of mozzarella you want to grab, cool. Those are just some pre-shredded stuff out of the bag, because that's what most people have. That's what we're gonna be rocking today. We got some Parmesan cheese, we got an onion, we got 4 cloves of garlic, and then we got a medium eggplant, right? Then we've got 1 pound of rigatoni, boom. And then we've got 5 really good links of spicy Italian sausage. Not super spicy, but
Yeah, mild.
Mild, you know it's there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good.
You can kick it up if you want to.
Yeah. It's not the spiciest sausage, but it gets the job done, you know what I'm saying? So first things first, we have a big pot of water in the back that we're gonna be cooking our rigatoni in. So salting water is super duper important when you're cooking pasta. You wanna give the pasta some flavor. If you don't add salt to the pasta, you're gonna be extracting the flavor versus adding that really kind of subtle, nutty flavor to the pasta itself. So you wanna season the water where it almost tastes like the ocean, okay? So 1 pound of rigatoni going in. Pasta will generally take about 12 to 15 minutes to cook all the way through. Not necessarily the case for this one, because we're gonna be baking it again. So this is gonna be like almost
7 minutes.
7 minutes, thank you, Matt. 7 minutes right on the nose. You wanna take it out because we're gonna be baking this twice. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our tomatoes and we're gonna pop them in the food processor, and we're gonna grind them until we get what's called a passata, right? Which is just a really super fresh tomato puree. And that's gonna be the base for the sauce. All right, boom. Take a look at this. Now it's gonna look like a smoothie, right? And this is what we're looking for. Just a nice big, fresh, frothy, delicious smelling summertime tomato puree. Okay, so now that we got the tomato puree done, the pasta is ready to take off the water. But first things first, we're gonna save some of the pasta water, right? It's about a cup, and I'll show you when and where we're gonna be using that a little bit later. Okay, so I'm not one to make a big mess in the kitchen, so we're actually gonna take the pot that we cooked the pasta in itself, put the pasta back in, give it a good stir, put it back on the stove, let it rest. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna chop up our onions, our 4 cloves of garlic, and our eggplant, and just kind of get all the knife work out of the way before we start building this and putting the whole thing together, right? All right, so we've got a protein board here. Really important if you're gonna be dealing with raw protein, like chicken, pork, whatever. Have a separate board so you're not cutting directly onto your wooden surface. So we love these things. You can pick them up anywhere. So we're gonna take our sausage here and just kind of cut it in some nice big chunks. We're gonna pan fry the sausage, extract some of that really delicious, yummy flavor. So we got some preliminary color. I'm happy with it. It's gonna taste good. All right, we're gonna throw this in. We're not gonna add the oil that's in the bottom. And now we're gonna pan fry our eggplant. We're just gonna let the eggplant, because it's kind of like a sponge, right? Soak up some of that really delicious pork flavor and just kind of pan fry and get nice and sweet and caramelized, and that's gonna go into the pot too. All right, so we got some nice color on the eggplant. Now I'm just gonna rake all this stuff. Now if you notice that we're starting to kind of build up some residual brown yummy stuff in the bottom of the pan, I got a trick for that. Don't wash this out and don't freak out. but we're going to almost kind of deglaze it with the onions. Now check out what's going on in our pan here. Now onions and garlic are filled with water, right? So when you deglaze, you would add some sort of liquid to the bottom of the pan. So check this trick out, this is kind of cool. And as the onions start to steam, they're gonna start to collect all that really, really good flavor. So let's check out our onions here, right? So our onions are really, really nice and soft, mostly caramelized, looking great, smelling delicious, by the way. You know, like sweet and savory all at the same time. So now we're gonna take our tomato puree, and again, this kind of looks like a big smoothie.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you're going for, right? And we're just gonna take this and dump this right in. Boom. We're gonna hit this with a little bit of fresh olive oil. We're gonna tear up some fresh basil in here too, and just let this simmer. And we're gonna cook this until it's really, really nice and thick. It's definitely gonna reduce by half, and this should take probably 10, 12 minutes. All right, so check out the sauce, right? It is completely changed fundamentally from where it was. It was a puree, and now we really have a beautiful, nice, thick, fresh summer tomato sauce. All right, so we're gonna take this, we're gonna fold this in, okay? Now just see how chunky this is. So delicious. Now we're gonna add that cup of pasta water back into this, okay? And then we're also gonna add our Parmesan cheese. Now this is gonna bind together, and this is gonna get really, really creamy. No doubt, this is dinner for 4 people with some leftovers. Look at that, kids. Next up is gonna be the cheese and the tomato garnish, right? So we're gonna add our Parmesan, a little more Parmesan, right on top, bang. Mozzarella cheese. Now we're gonna take our cherry tomatoes and we're gonna cut these right in half. And then we're gonna use these as like a little garnish. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, and we're gonna pop this into the oven. And I think this is gonna be in there for about maybe another 12 minutes or so, right? What do you think, man?
Yeah, I think 10, 15.
10, 15, okay, great. Okay, so let's talk about this dish, right? So this is very, very similar to Bananas Foster. If you've ever made Bananas Foster before, or you've seen the process, it's kind of the same thing, but instead of bananas, we're using peaches, and instead of dark rum, we're gonna be using Amaretto. Let's talk about some ingredients. Okay, so we got 4 really super ripe peaches. So we got 4 of these guys. We got some Amaretto. We have vanilla. We've got a stick of butter, and then we've got brown sugar. We've got coriander, right? Which is an amazing, delicious spice. And then last but not least, we're gonna garnish this with some biscotti, right? So we're just gonna piece this whole thing together. It happens in one saute pan, and it's really, really quick, right? So we're gonna turn the pan on. We're gonna add our butter to the pan. And then we're gonna add our brown sugar to this. And we're gonna let the 2 of these really start to come together and melt. And then we're also gonna go ahead and add our coriander to this. And then we're gonna add the liquid a little bit later, but first and foremost, I wanna make sure I get the toffee sauce in a really, really good place, right? So then we're gonna take our peaches, and then we're gonna cut these into wedges. Okay, so we're coming together here, right? So we're gonna stir our brown sugar, okay? And our butter together. And then when this starts to bubble, it's gonna turn into a really, really yummy toffee sauce. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna flambe some Amaretto, right? And again, when you're flambeing any kind of liquid, we've done this a couple of times on the channel, you wanna make sure that you have your volatile alcohol, and again, it's anything north of 40 proof, on a separate container. You never wanna pour it straight from the bottle because those vapors could ignite, and you could be holding a Molotov cocktail, which is not exactly what you want when it's time for dessert. So we have our Amaretto, we have a hot top of the pan, okay? Right? And then you want to flambe this, right? And as soon as the alcohol pulls away, it's kind of done. And it happens really, really fast, but it's just enough to ignite the alcohol, burn off that hard alcohol flavor, and just leave you with a pure Amaretto note right there at the very end. Right? So we're gonna stir this together, add our vanilla. Now it's complete. Look how buttery and silky this is. All right, I'm gonna season it with a little bit of salt. Always wanna season some sugar. And then we're gonna add these peaches, okay? Just give it a nice toss. Peaches are completely coated. They look sensational, right? So we're gonna let those just simmer for a quick second. All right, and then you just want to get out some garnish, man. Okay, so peaches in the bottom of the bowl. Again, guys, it's really simple, but the peaches in the sauce are everything. So we got ice cream, old school, round scoop, right on top. We're gonna take our biscotti, gonna lay this right on top. See, these are marigolds. It just fits, nice and bright, summery. And then obviously some fresh mint would be fantastic on this too. All right guys, this is it, man. Really simple, delicious summertime dessert. I know you're gonna love, and it's so easy to put together and so flexible too that you can really add any kind of fruit to that, kind of make it your own. Really, really good dessert. Simple, easy, fun to put together. This is insanely delicious.
It's so good.
All right, here we go, brother. What was the time on this? Did you time it?
Yeah, it's about 10 minutes.
Crusty, crispy, melty, delicious, bright. This is what I'm talking about.
Wow.
Isn't that great? So this is what an awesome baked pasta dish should look like, folks. We're just gonna finish this with some fresh hand-torn basil. And I think this is a good one, man. I think this is a good one. You know what I like about this recipe? Again, it's about being flexible, right? So whatever you got laying around the kitchen, you could totally turn this into an amazing baked pasta dish that really kind of celebrates the summer. That's where we are right now. The weather is beautiful. We got so much fun stuff. Let's make a great meal the whole family's gonna love. Look at that cheese pull, kids. Oh my gosh. Come on, man. Next level, right? Isn't it good? Delicious. Pasta's perfectly cooked.
Pasta's perfect.
Yep.
Sausage is there. It's
Wow.
not over. It's still juicy. It's not dried out.
So guys, listen, I think this is a rock star dish. It's absolutely delicious, full of flavor, easy to put together, and I think you're gonna love it.
Yeah, great dish.
Good hang. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe and then turn on that bell for notifications. We got all kinds of cool content coming down the pipeline straight from the test kitchen. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you later.